iron, protein powder, name it. I had all through the 9 months. All through the 9 months, and my child was premature, that is 35 days earlier. But he was fully grown, 2.5 kgs.
Wow.
2.5 kgs. Can you imagine that? And the child was fully grown with no problems at all. My mother was terribly scared. She was telling the doctors, do the operation, do something. She might die. I had a bleeding, pursued bleeding. And it was like, 8th month, end of 8th month. And we had actually made a mistake of going to sand dunes at that time. In the 8th month, climbing up, all the way up, without eating anything throughout the that only Air Force guys did. We were actually, I think from the beginning of our marriage, we were always in for everything. I think, we were always like, he used to push me, I used to go along. Wherever he takes me. I never thought twice, why should I go there? Why should I do this? Why should we do that? And we were in for everything. After he conceived everything, delivery over everything, but the child was little weak. My child was little weak. From the beginning, I had a lot of problems. That's okay. Then he had a surgery, major surgery, brain surgery, when he was 3 years old. That was really like, shivering, painstaking, and the doctors had told that he had brain tumor, nonsense. But it turned out to be a vascular tissue. Why can you tell me? It's because of the products which I was using when I got it. And after all that, after the operation done, 5 days he was back to square one. Back to square one. Why? Again because of the products. I'm 100% passionate about the products. You can see in me also. I use all the products daily. Not a single day we are not, I can't tell you in words. And then, yes, he was back to square one. And I put him into protein powder from the day he got out. From the day he got out. And utilized kids and name it, I had used everything for him. Now you can see him running. I think most of the people who are close to me can see him running, playing, going to school regularly. Which I don't think was possible otherwise. And one more thing is people of the business. Business we are in, they have helped us, including the cross line, my own upline, has helped us throughout, has been beside us whenever we needed them. And with this, I end my talk. I want my husband to talk more. Thank you.
It is just amazing. Actually, yes, she does deserve a fantastic round of applause. He can vouch for it. She would never talk. She is the last of the 3 kids, and she had grown up in a manner such that everything was done for her, and so am I. One of the things, it just amazes me. When we come into this business, a lot of times, all of us start thinking about the products first, isn't it? How expensive are they? What is going to happen? Am I going to use them at all? And even worse, actually, if we hold the product up, we start shivering. Because what is my relative going to think? But how am I going to talk about the price? Have you ever seen Shah Rukh Khan shiver when he's holding a product? Why does he not? And 90% of the time, I can vouch for it, he doesn't even use the product. Yeah. Last year, he earned 40 crores from his acting and 140 crores from his endorsement. If you don't believe me, go to the net and find out for yourselves. What is his bigger role? Is he an actor? Or is he a product endorser? And who is paying for it? You and I. Our hard-earned post-tax money, which we senselessly go and give it, so that one day we dream we can have that life. But we are refusing to hold this product and say, this is SA8 and this delivers what it promises. If you don't like it, return it in 30 days, take your money back. Is it that hard to say? But I was like that. I was like that because I would never ever do that because I was so ashamed of wanting to say, because I grew up with a huge ego. Because lots of my friends from the Air Force are here and they can vouch for it. Pilots have a huge ego, especially in the Air Force, because everything is made for them. They all work hard and we get the fruits. That's the way I lived life. And worse still, because I was a qualified flying instructor, which means that you are in the cream of the Air Force, just the few. I'm not big nodding about myself, I'm trying to tell you how stupid I was. Because at that stage, God has his own way of doing things. Gives you a small correction, isn't it? 2002, I can remember very well. went in for medicals, came out, doctor said you can never fly in your life again. Until unless you correct this, do something drastic. He said, you know, you've got arthritis of both the knees, you're not allowed to fly. Was put away from flying. 1 year in the Air Force, I suffered not flying, and that is when a wonderful couple came into our lives, and that part of it, I'll come back to it again. But what you need to understand is, while you are sitting, each one of you here, there is a very thin line between being in the business and not being. And the reason always it happens is because only for lookers this business is.
Yes.
It's available for only those who are looking for something. All of you can come in, all of you can feel good about, you know, the recognition and the people who have spoken and gone. But at the end of it, what matters is what are you going to do about it? And I'll tell you where it all starts. Because for me, again, like her, I am the youngest in the family. 5 siblings, youngest in the family. Eldest sister is 13 years elder to me, almost like a mother to me. And again, everything was done for me. I was never allowed to take any decisions because I was so protected that I would never take decisions. Couple of, you know, things in my life which really mattered is where I took decisions, and I'm so proud of it. Because in 12th standard, when I was there, we had the worst riots in Ahmedabad. We used to live in Ahmedabad those days, and the worst riots in Ahmedabad, and more than half the town was burnt off. The examination, which was supposed to be held in March, was held in August. And obviously, fantastic students like me don't need to study during that period. I did. And when the results came, not too shocking, it showed fail. So I said, my goodness, I mean, I didn't do that badly. So when actually looked up, I was so petrified. I picked up and said, what went wrong? Which subject did I fail in? In Hindi, it showed absent, and hence total result failed. I said, thank God. And that was the saving grace. You must understand the thin line, because I wasn't absent. And I was dead sure I can't fail in Hindi. क्योंकि यदि हिंदी में मैं बात करना चाहूँ तो मैं एक्चुअली इंग्लिश से ज्यादा बेहतर मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता उसमें मैं फेल होने का कोई चांस ही नहीं था मुझे. So what had happened was lots of students had failed, some very good students had also failed, shown as absent. So everyone forgot my poor, you know, percentage. They all got in after getting me pass at least. I scored only 55%. Obviously, there was no scope of going into, you know, any of those fancy things, because those days only thing people could think of was engineering and medicine. And if you don't go to any of those, your parents are also, you know, gone cases. You are also a gone case. In my family, everyone has achieved a lot. Like my brother is a CA, ICAA, CS, CFA. All 5 together, he's never come second in life. So it was disgusting life for me, because I was not one of those. And it was very difficult to keep up to those expectations. And that was the time when I said I'm going to be a pilot. So obviously I went for counseling. And there was, I think, about 42-year-old man. I went to him because counseling was available free for all the schools. Government used to organize, at least in Gujarat they do it. So I went to this guy and I said I want to be a pilot. He didn't even ask me to sit down. He looked at the mark sheet, he looked at me, and he says, you know, if your father has got too much of money and he wants to waste it, you can be a pilot. But otherwise, anyway, with this marks, there is nothing you can do, you can go. And that was the counseling. So I said, there's something wrong, damn it. I'm dead sure that I want to be a pilot. How can he throw me out like this? And fortunately, I learned of another guy who was a counselor and who had just about retired or so. And so I went to that older man. He made me sit down, he went through, he said, no problem at all. I mean, these things keep happening. I told him what the other guy had said. He said, don't worry. You have the best chance in your life, because get into BSc, easygoing life, join NCC, do your C certificate, go into Air Force and fly. What stops you from doing that? Amazing counseling, isn't it? Yeah. Then this business also the same thing will happen. You will go to your best friend like Sharma or Ramdari did, and you know, he will give you 1001 reasons why you can't join the business or why it will not work for you. But one upline out of the so many of them available, right up to Jim and Nancy, will tell you why you can and will also help you, not just help you. It's just there. You just need that little bit of a hope to understand that this can work, and it does work. We are a, you know, example of that, and so many others here in this room. The point you need to understand is whom will you take your counseling from? Because I took the right counseling, went into there. By then it was too late for, you know, joining NCC, because I was running around trying to find out. I went to a nondescript college. From there I moved on to